As we take our look back at winter of 25 and 26, we're looking at the snowfall total map here across the region for the entire season. Of course, lake effect snow has been a big story this year, especially along the lakeshore from Buffalo towards Cleveland. And of course, we saw that too in northern Trumbull and Mercer counties a lot this winter. But one thing I want to call your attention to on this map is just how active the entire region was here in the lower Great Lakes. You can see some of these brighter purples and pinks that shows where a lot of the snow fell across this portion of the country. But as we take a look back and kind of show you the entire map here, you can see that the majority of the snow across the entire country has been here at home in the lower Great Lakes and the northeastern portions of the plains and the eastern plains across Minnesota and eastern portions of North and South Dakota. But also, has not been a whole lot of snow in the Rocky Mountains. They're running a deficit of snowfall. So you see some of those brighter colors in the mountains, but that is still below where they should be for this season. So you can see a prominent figure in terms of snowfall totals has been here at home and in our portion of the Great Lakes. To explain why that is, let's take a trip down to the tropics, shall we? Here's a look at La Nina. And we've talked about this quite a bit this winter, and that has been one of our major influences to our weather pattern. What exactly is La Nina? Well, it's a stronger trade winds in the eastern Pacific Ocean, which also creates, in addition to those trade winds, creates below normal sea surface temperatures. That is, temperatures for the ocean that are below the average for the last 30 years or so. So this is a prominent portion to explain what goes on in the upper atmosphere, because this influences the general pattern over North America. And this kind of shows you what that does on a general La Nina scale. And in this case, this year did kind of match this. So here it's the active storm track along the northern plains, and that is influenced by a high pressure over the Pacific Ocean, which is influenced by those temperatures in the eastern Pacific. And so that jet stream, more often than not, is dipped south, and that allows for surges of colder air and active weather pattern here at home with drier conditions favored along the Gulf Coast. Also warmer the farther south you go compared to normal. The colder conditions compared to normal are here at home in the northern plains and in the Great Lakes. Now, this is a general pattern, but as you know, this year, this has been the prominent pattern with a La Nina in place. And also, one of the other factors that have been in place this winter, in addition to the La Nina, is an Arctic oscillation, which is another kind of what we call teleconnection, which kind of connects what's going on at other parts of the world and kind of influences a general pattern. So the Arctic oscillation is a pattern over the Arctic, and when that allows for a weaker jet, it allows for those colder temperatures to push their way down and allows the warmer air to kind of fill into the northern Arctic and allows that Arctic air to push southward. And that, in addition to the La Nina, has been a major factor for our cold that we've had this winter. So kind of how this kind of all sums up here, you can see this in the upper air pattern, that the Arctic air just continues to get pushed in as that jet stream pattern just pretty much repeats itself with the warm air a lot more locked in the southwest. And that has been what we have seen for the majority of our winter. So as we kind of sum this all up, La Nina with a positive Arctic oscillation has been a very prominent driving force to our winter this year, which has just been driving constant pushes of Arctic air our direction and over the Great Lakes, with also a relatively active storm track, which has brought more snow than what we've seen the last several winters for sure. Now, this wasn't the entire winter. We did have a few periods of time where that pattern broke down and there were some brief warm-ups, but overall, a cold winter here in the valley and at home. So there's a little bit of a wrap-up as to kind of explaining what happened to this winter. For Storm Team 27, I'm meteorologist Craig Zybert.